Hiya, this is WaterLily6519 again, and today is a makeup tutorial of sorts. Let's see how well I can do it, but what you will need for this is green eyeshadow. So I'm going to be using this Makeup Revolution palette, which has 3 gorgeous greens. Yep, and you may think that this looks slightly green as well, but it's more of a blue tone green. So today is going to be a greenish kind of makeup, which is going to be really nice. And please don't mind the tilts in the background. This is my dad's office, and yeah, he's got tools up on the wall, so don't think about that. And I will also be putting on some very nice relaxing music, which will include throat singing. Yes, I am one of those people who listens to that. So without any further ado, let's get started. So I've already got my base on. I used the Klairs Illuminating Supple Blemish Cream SPF 40. This is a Korean skincare brand. So actually the music was a bit loud in the background, so I'm just going to tone it down a bit. And I just used this all over, and then I used a beauty sponge to blend it out, and I used the 007 Set It Up Special Effects Finishing Powder to dust lightly all over my face. So next step is going to be brows. So I'm going to take my purple Makeup Revolution palette and getting out my angled eyeshadow brush, which is from this W7 makeup brush set. That's the throat singing in the background. I'm going to be taking this. Yeah, I'll try to close the door a bit more, but I think it's going to be fine. So I'm going to dip my brush into this taupey brown shade, tap off the excess, and use that to just lightly fill in my eyebrows. You may think it's really weird with the throat singing and the calming music in the background, but I think it's rather nice actually, because it gives a calming aura to whatever I'm doing. I've used this as music for when I need a power nap. So lightly filling in my eyebrows. I like to keep them quite natural because I think I've got quite the nice hairs. Sorry, I almost vanished off the screen. But next up is going to be the eyeshadow portion. So what I'm going to be doing is taking this kind of big blending brush from the brush set for eyeshadow, and I'm going to be borrowing my sister's eyeshadow palette, the Technic Pressed Pigment Goddess palette. And the reason why I'm borrowing my sister's eyeshadow, which she hasn't used by the way, is because she's the only one who's got a matte warm brown transition colour. So I'm going to be using this in my crease, and then obviously the glasses have to come off. I'm going to be using my big Makeup Revolution palette with all these neutral shades in my crease to hold up as a mirror, because I can't see that much right now. So taking that warm brown shadow, I'm just going to start blending this into the crease for a transition colour. And I'd suggest you blend this out in soft kind of circular motions. This shade is not going to be as, upfront intense, but it's necessary for blending with the other shades. So once you've got that nicely blended into your crease, dip your brush again, tap off, and do the same on the other eye. This is going to be slightly off center for you guys because I have to be able to see what I'm doing, but same, almost windshield wiping motion and soft circular motions to just blend that warm brown all up into the crease. As you can see, I will be linking the throat singing video in the description box. So now the brown transition shade is on, and with this now I'm going to put this back, and next I'm going to take a smaller eyeshadow brush, more medium-sized I would say, and now it's time for the palette with the green shades. So I'm going to start off with this kind of olive shade in the middle row. So dip in your brush to really coat it. Remember to tap off any excess and just start working that into the crease as well. And this is a shade that will be the green transition shade. We had the brown transition shade first, and now it's a green transition shade. You just have to remember to keep it blended in the crease. And again, same thing on the other eye. I hope you can actually see what I'm doing and that I'm not just turning away from you. And if you happen to think that this looks a bit harsh, don't worry, because next I'm going to take a smaller eyeshadow blending brush. Should really keep my brushes a bit closer. I hope you find it different but interesting with the throat singing and calming music in the background, because I happen to think it's rather relaxing. So next I'm going to be taking this lighter green in the top right hand corner of the palette and tap off any excess and use this to start blending out the olive more into the brown that you've already applied. And remember to keep it soft, softly blending. Try using soft circular motions, and I'll try to keep it more like you can see. again, light green, other eye. So if I can do this with you, seeing more properly what is happening. Just remember to keep blending it all out. You might be like, okay, you're going to do a cut crease, a halo eye, anything like that, and no, I'm not going to be doing I'm going to be doing a cut crease. Maybe I was thinking of like a spotlight smoky eye, but no. Now that I've finished with this brush, I'm going to go kind of more like Simply Nailogical on YouTube prefers to do, and do the lid colour in with if I can get it out of the packaging first and foremost, with one of these eyeshadow sponge applicators. So now I'm going to take this True Green in the bottom left hand corner, again sponge, rub it in to fully coat, tap off any major excess and start applying to your eyelids like so. Remember, you want to get this all over the lid. Even use it to slightly blend into the first shadows that you've used. Of course, you can also use your finger, or if you are like most beauty gurus, just use a brush to pack it on. I don't have any like really dense packing brushes, so I'm just using this, which works just as well. But you can use a finger, obviously, if you think that does a better job for you. But I like using this eyeshadow sponge applicator because it helps get it all over. You don't have to worry about it getting all over your fingers. And as you can see, the green shade is packed on all over the lid, like so. So again, other side, other eye, and start to see if I can lean a bit closer to the camera. Maybe I can also slightly use the camera as a guide. I really should have closed the door. I'm so sorry about that. But I'm just gonna apply this onto my lid, not into my, go, onto my lid, take it and pack it on all over the lid. I really ought to just push my chair back and close the door, but I'm just gonna finish up the green on the lid. And as you can see, as it's not quite the same tone of green as the other ones, it does give the illusion of a very, very soft cut crease. Now that that's done, I'm just going to briefly pop on my glasses and close the door. There we are. Sorry about that, this video is so messy, but then again, what makeup tutorial video of mine isn't a mess? So, what you're going to do then, after you've packed on the green shade, as you can see, you can take your smallest eyeshadow brush, again lighter shade, and you might be thinking, like, shouldn't you do the transition colour underneath the lash line if you're going to smoke under the lash line? Well, I want to try with just the greens smoking underneath the lash line. See if I can let you see the whole entire thing. Try to make sure that it kind of connects to whatever's on the top, and drag it all the way in. See if you can manage. And of course smoke it into the lashes. That actually worked out better than I hoped. Now, it might look a bit sickly, but once the mascara is on, it's going to look better. So try to lean a bit close to the camera so you can see better. And blend the green underneath the lash line. Try to keep it connected and go underneath to smoke. Now probably like, are you going to do any eyeliner? I forgot to bring my eyeliner. Can you believe it? So I'm gonna attempt something else in a minute. Might be like, is that fallout? And yes it is. Just gonna try rub some of it slightly off, and I'm going to go back in with the sponge here, which hopefully has a bit of residual BB cream, and just dab it lightly over top to cover any major like fallout, and on this side as well. So once you have that going, I'm going to attempt something a little different. So I'm going to take take this, which is a small, I think it's supposed to be a lip brush, but it also works good for it also works wonders for smudging, so just gonna make sure there's nothing under it. And so I'm going to take this big palette that I'm using for a mirror and take this bottom right corner, which is black, matte black eyeshadow. You're probably like, don't you have like an eyeliner brush or something like that which gets a precise line? I do, but it's covered in foundation. So taking the black, I'm just going to run this. You're probably going to pull some pretty awesome faces doing this. Now it's nowhere near of being eyeliner. But it's actually somewhat. Smoking out the lash line. Just smudging the darker underneath. So again, black all over. Try to get it up to where it can practically hit your waterline. Just take that and try to go back to the side slightly, and just very lightly smoke with black under the lash line. Can you see? I'm going to continue the gentle smoke all the way to the inner corner. Sometimes when you forget one makeup product, it's good to know that if you have something that can substitute that product, just go for it. So with that smoked along the lower lash line, just going to check. Yep, that looks fairly good. Now I'm going to take the black eyeshadow yet again. I'm going to attempt to gently smoke it along the upper lash line as well. Now it may not be as, upfront intense, but some slight bit of structure and smoke. I hope you can actually see some of what I'm doing, that I'm not holding the mirror up in front where you can't see anything. Essentially, I'm going to attempt to keep on smoking a bit more along the lash line. The reason why I chose to film in my father's office with tools on the wall behind me is because he's got a ring light. He uses a work light obviously, but it's the closest I can get to a professional ring light in this house, which is why I'm filming here currently. Again, attempting to smoke the upper lash line a bit. I'm going to attempt at least to let you see. I'm sorry, I'm going to This is actually working better than I thought. Just some very slight smoke along the lash line. I've got a few fallout specks of black here. Don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm going to be covering those with the leftover foundation once again. I just want to show a slightly more healthy looking glow. And that's the eyeshadow all complete. I'm going to put my glasses on once again, and you can see it behind the ring light is reflecting in my glasses. I'm just going to check if I can adjust it. And of course, with the throat singing going in the background, I'm going to next take out this spoolie and popping this smudger brush back in here. I'm going to be applying mascara, and for this I'm actually going to switch the palette that I'm using, or the mirror that I'm using. I'm going to be switching it to this Kix Beauty Glow Iron Cheek palette, which has a smaller mirror, and I can use that as a smaller mirror to do my eyelashes, if I can just get this off. And I'm of course going to be using the Isadora Big Bold Waterproof Volume Mascara. I'm already at the 25-minute mark, so I'm so sorry about that. But as I don't know how to edit, this is all you get, I'm afraid. all you get and all you get, but it's what you get, I'm afraid. So now once you've applied your mascara, like so, go ahead and use this spoolie to gently brush your eyelashes upwards. So if you do a slightly bit like this, you can slightly curl your lashes upwards, at least a bit. So another dunk, and go on the other eye. That's a lot more than I thought it was going to be, so again, spoolie to the rescue and blink it slightly upwards. And use just take off a major bit of what's on here, so just to get the outer lashes and bottom lashes coated as well. Hopefully you can see enough of what I'm doing. And yet again. Oops. I hope I can get this to look decent, at least. That's caused more fallout on my face. I don't know if you can see. I can, so I'm actually going to drag the beauty blender, well, not beauty blender, but beauty sponge, over in order to make sure it doesn't look absolutely crazy. And again, blend slightly. So that's the eyelashes all complete, and the last step is to highlight the inner corner, for which with I'm actually going to use my finger and this slightly greenish shade. Let's see if I can pop this on the inner corner for you to see properly. Make sure you blend that like so, and again, other eye. actually also going to take a tad bit of that same highlighting shade and go right here on the brow bone, blending it slightly into the eyeshadow to catch some light. Again, same thing on the other eye, work it onto the brow bone and a bit in to ta-da! Now that that's done, that's the eyes all finished. So now I'll put on my glasses so I can actually see something. Try to sit a bit slumped so it doesn't get crazy reflections. Now I'm quite honestly not going to be able to do anything with contour because I'm not good at contour, but what I am going to be doing is a slight bit of blushing. So for this I'm going to be using the Kix Beauty Pink Petal Lip and Cheek Tint, which is this gorgeous pink tint. I've got a smaller sponge and I'm just going to take my clean finger, slight bit of tint on my finger like so, mirror, and gently dot that onto your cheek. And now, of course, don't give it time to dry out, use a beauty blender or any kind of blending sponge and blend it out. You can kind of see the difference. So you've got some slight colour here, and you've got not so much colour there. Again, finger dot on the tint and blend out. Now you might think that you put way too much on that cheek and not too much on the other cheek. I know, and because this is blusher, kind of cream blusher, I'm going to be taking, again, foundation sponge and try to pat a bit of foundation over the top. Not to mess up the colour, but to just tone it down a fair bit with some more kind of skin coloured. Get on my lips as well. And blend it out. Now, second to last step is highlight, and for this I'm actually going to be using a fan brush. Yes, I know a lot of people are like, fan brushes are garbage. Well, today I'm going to be using that, so taking this greenish palette again, it's got this beautiful pinkish highlight colour. I don't know if I can manage to angle it to show you correctly, but this colour, it is a highlighter shade that matches my skin tone really rather nicely, so I'm going to dab it in to cover it a bit, tap off any major excess, and then I'm going to lightly sweep that across the top of my cheekbone. I think I've got a brush hair on my face. Let's just get rid of that real quick, and as you can see, nice glowy highlight. And again, I'm at 35 minutes and I'm so sorry, none of you are probably going to even watch the entirety of this makeup look. And of course, none of you are going to watch the entirety of this. You're probably just going to skip to finished product, most of you. I'm also going to be doing a light dusting on the tip of my nose. Very, very slight. And now the final step, I promise this is the last step. I'm going to take this lip and cheek tint again, and with a clean finger I'm going to apply it on my lips like so. And with that, good on you for staying. If you have stayed all this time, this is the finished product. So I'm going to bring you in a bit closer. Glasses off, and as you can see, a nice green, kind of smoky eye, blusher, highlights, a natural lip, and of course never forget that the prettiest accessory you can wear with a look like this, and any look, is a nice big smile. Now I'm going to turn this down, and with this I'm going to stop filming soon, but I hope you enjoy, that you try something like this out yourself, and of course stay happy, stay safe, and always know that I'm sending you a bit of love so you never have to feel alone. Bye guys.